Ilia, stop running, Ilia. Stop running, Ilia. Good boy. I'll make it quick, no worries.
I'm the world champion. I'm never gonna give him a chance to fight for the title.
You versus Islam on the White House card would be insane. Would you want to fight at the White House, or?
Why not? I would love to fight in front of the United States of America.
I'm gonna have to 1,000,000% agree with Habib. I think this is our toughest test, and this is Habib, and my biggest responsibility is to make sure we get Islam on tip-top shape and ready to do what we think and we believe he will do, and that's win, but it's not going to be easy.
Arman Tsarukyan has brutally trolled Ilia Topuria after the lightweight champion announced that he would never give a title shot to him despite being the #1 contender.
Ilia, stop running, Ilia. Stop running, Ilia. Good boy. I'll make it quick, no worries. Good boy.
In a recent video with Nelk Boys, Ilia Topuria strongly rejected the idea of defending his title against Arman Tsarukyan. He said Arman needed to prove himself against someone else first and questioned his reliability as an opponent. Topuria made it clear that he had no interest in ever offering Arman a title shot, even stating that if the UFC insisted on that matchup, he would rather relinquish his belt than go through with it.
Listen, when you put so much effort in the game and you have a guy in front who you don't know that maybe he could pull out from the fight, that's not something good for us. It's not on my back, bro. I don't care. They're gonna give him a fight before the title shot because there is no way. I'm the world champion. I'm never gonna give him a chance to fight for the title. I will be like, listen, if that's the case, take my belt. I don't do it.
Ilia Topuria even expressed his desire to fight Islam Makhachev at the White House, expressing excitement at the idea of such a high-profile showdown in front of the American public. He welcomed the possibility and made it clear he's ready for the challenge if it comes his way. Ilia also shared his belief that Islam is unlikely to return to 155 pounds, noting that once a fighter moves up in weight, they usually don't like to move back down.
You versus Islam on the White House card would be insane. Would you want to fight at the White House, or?
Why not? I would love to fight in front of the United States of America.
Yeah.
I would love it. We'll see what's
But it's
gonna
a year
happen.
away, right?
It's a year away.
That could be perfect timing for you in Islam, though. What weight would that go down at now, though?
Like, what do you mean? When
Like
it could happen?
what weight class? Yeah.
I don't care with him.
He
I
couldn't
don't
come
really
back
care.
down to 155.
Once you try to go up, you never want to come back.
Yeah.
It's like,
It's hell, right?
it's hell.
Yeah.
It's hell. I had to go through hell when I was cutting the weight in 145, and now that I decide to stay in 155, it's like two different worlds. I have been able to enjoy the whole process. I've been more happier.
However, Arman Tsarukyan said Ilia Topuria needs to beat him to be considered on the same level as Islam Makhachev. He argued that Ilia has only faced easier matchups so far, and although he's beaten legitimate fighters, they were past their prime. Arman claimed that if Ilia had fought Alexander Volkanovski 4 or 5 years earlier, Volkanovski would have dominated him.
If he beat me, he's gonna be on the same level as Islam. He
That would
gotta
be the
beat like someone like me, you know, who can wrestle. He just had easy fights on his career, you know. He beat legit fighters, but not on their prime. If he met Volkanovski 5 years ago, 4 years ago, Volkanovski just eat him.
Arman Tsarukyan fired back at Ilia Topuria, saying he'd send him back to the top 15 pound-for-pound list. He claimed that stylistically, Topuria is an easier fight than Charles Oliveira because Ilia poses no real threat on the ground. Arman explained that while Oliveira can still catch you in submissions even off his back, Topuria just tries to stand up, making him easier to control. He added that while Ilia might be a good guy, he's far from being the best fighter. Arman Tsarukyan said, I'll send Topuria back to the top 15 pound for pound. For me, it's easier to fight Topuria than Oliveira because of my style. I like to take people down. When you take down a fighter like Charles, he can still choke you or catch you in a submission, but Topuria, he's just gonna try to get up, and you can take him down 1,000 times. There's no danger on the ground. Maybe he's a good guy, but he's not the best fighter.
Taking on Islam in a rematch or taking on Ilia, which one is more exciting for you?
For me, more exciting Islam, because when you beat Islam, it's a different level fighter. He's a complete fighter. He's not just Ilia who can just box and defend the wrestling a little bit. But Islam, he's a complete fighter and different level fighter.
On the other hand, Khabib Nurmagomedov called Jack Della Maddalena the toughest opponent of Islam Makhachev's career. He said Maddalena is bigger and stronger than Ilia Topuria, with elite boxing and solid grappling, and presents a far greater challenge than anyone Islam has faced.
Считаю, что Мадалена самый сложный соперник в Ислама карьере. Это мое мнение. Ни Чарльз, никто. Ни один из этих бойцов.
И даже не Илья, если бы это бой был бы.
Ну, мое личное мнение. Во-первых, Мадалена 2 раза больше, чем Илья.
Сопоставим.
Илья. Вот. Он 2 раза больше. Он выше, больше, ноги помощнее, корпус, бокс не хуже. И грэпплинг он возится очень хорошо, если вы смотрели. Ну, для меня, если я например, буду готовить Ислама против Илья или Мадалины, для меня больше будет волновать и волнует Мадалена.
Javier Mendez strongly agreed with Khabib Nurmagomedov's assessment that Jack Della Maddalena is the toughest opponent of Islam Makhachev's career. He emphasized that this is not an easy fight by any means, and described it as one of the biggest responsibilities he and Khabib have ever faced as coaches. Mendez said if the fight ends up looking easy, it would only be because they prepared perfectly, and Jack gave them the right opportunities during the bout. He expressed deep respect for Jack and his team and made it clear they are mentally ready for the challenge ahead.
Yeah, I believe Khabib recently said that's Islam's toughest test. Do you agree?
I'm going to have to 1,000,000% agree with Khabib. I think this is our toughest test, and this is Khabib and my biggest responsibility is to make sure we get Islam on tip-top shape and ready to do what we think and we believe he will do, and that's win. But it's not going to be easy. And if we make it look easy, it's because we were properly prepared, and Jack just happened to give us what we needed. But this is by no means a walkover fight. No means. This is a really, really tough fight, and we have immense respect for Jack and their team and what they can do. And so we're prepared, you know, mentally now. Physically, we'll got 2 months before we start camp. We'll go then, but right now we're mentally prepared for what Jack brings, and he brings a lot.
Javier Mendez said that Jack Della Maddalena is a very tough opponent. He admitted that getting past JDM won't be easy, and said both he and Khabib know they have their work cut out for them. Javier emphasized how dangerous Maddalena is, warning that if they don't approach the fight the right way, they could lose and have to start climbing the ladder all over again.
We have to get by JDM too, and that's not going to be, Khabib and I have our work cut out for us, you know, and other coaches. This is not an easy task. This is a very dangerous individual, and we better come at it correctly. Otherwise, we're going to come out looking, what next? There is no next. You got to climb back the ladder again.
Javier Mendez highlighted several reasons why Jack Della Maddalena is such a dangerous opponent. He pointed out JDM's long winning streak and his ability to mix up his attacks, going to the body, head, and using kicks unpredictably. Javier emphasized that JDM isn't just a headhunter. He changes levels and strikes creatively. He also noted JDM's strong takedown defense, saying they can't assume they'll be able to take the fight to the ground easily. Instead, they'll likely have to force openings, because JDM is skilled enough not to give them any for free.
What do you think makes JDM so dangerous? What's his best attribute?
I think what makes JDM so dangerous, number one, he's unbeaten for quite a while.
Yeah.
He's had quite a long win streak, and the fact that this guy mixes it up extremely well. He goes to the body, to the head. He doesn't just stick head hunting. He mixes it all up. He goes body, punch, boom, and then all of a sudden a kick comes. And with him, his takedown defense is really, really good also. So we are not in a situation where we can think, oh, we're going to go to the ground and we're going to, no, we got to see what he's going to give us. And we have to, we're going to have to make him give us something, because I don't know if he's going to. he's really that good.
Meanwhile, Israel Adesanya predicted that Jack Della Maddalena would finish Islam Makhachev. He believed Islam wouldn't be able to handle Jack in the scrambles or once Jack got back to his feet. Adesanya said he truly believed Jack would get the job done and added that he couldn't wait to see it happen, promising to be there when it does.
But yeah, this fight, Ben Vickers said he's going to knock him out, and I believe him. I honestly believe him because I just think he's not going to be able to hand with him on the scrambles or when he gets back up. He's going to, like, Della is just so stoic. And he just, like you said, focuses on his own game. And when he does that, I really think he's going to get him. And I can't wait till that happens. And wherever it is, I'm gonna be there.
Similarly, Craig Jones also called it a super difficult fight for Islam Makhachev. He noted that while Islam had competitive bouts with Volkanovski, Jack Della Maddalena has the best scrambling ability in MMA, which could pose an even greater challenge. He highlighted the size difference and how Islam struggled on the ground with Volk. Craig added that if Jack puts Islam in a tough spot or beats him, it will raise serious questions. Craig Jones said, "I think it's a super difficult fight. Obviously, Islam faced Volk twice. The first one was very competitive, but now he's facing a guy with the best scrambling ability in all of MMA. I think that's what Bilal struggled with. The size difference is going to be more than people think, and we've already seen how Volk did on the ground, how much Islam struggled with him. If Jack beats Islam and puts him in a tough spot, then..." Ian Gary analyzed the matchup as difficult to predict, praising Islam Makhachev's all-around skills, but emphasizing that size will be a key factor at welterweight, and he pointed out the significant difference between Jack Della Maddalena and Volkanovski in size, especially since even Volk and Dustin challenged Islam. Gary believes Jack has the boxing and takedown defense to win, though he also sees a possible outcome where Islam dominates. Ian Gary said, "It's tough to talk about because Islam is phenomenal. He's good everywhere, but size matters when you're talking about an extra 15 pounds. When you look at the size difference between someone like Volkanovski and Jack Della Maddalena, it's huge. Size is going to play a huge part, even on the ground. I feel like Jack could get it done with his clean boxing and solid takedown defense." However, Javier Mendez explained that Islam Makhachev never really struggled with making weight and was always professional about it. He said Islam handled his weight cuts well and never complained about being unable to make 155. However, moving up to welterweight wasn't about avoiding the cut, it was about chasing legacy. Javier said Islam could have easily stayed at lightweight, but when the opportunity for a big fight at 170 came up, it was too good to pass. If Bilal Muhammad had still been the opponent, Islam wouldn't have taken the welterweight fight.
How much was that weight cut related for Islam, or do you feel like legacy aside, he could have just rode out his career at 55?
The weight cut was something that he's an expert at it. I've been with him all these camps. I'm not in the weight camp all the time. I'm a little in and out because that's not my thing. But he's never really 100% like, oh my God, I can't make the weight. And no, he's never done that. So he's always been a professional. He's always made the weight. But as far as going up in weight to welterweight, it's like, hey, it's like the legacy fight for that. So he could have stayed at 155 and continued doing that if he wanted, but the opportunity came up. How can you pass that up?
Yeah.
He couldn't pass that up. If Bilal Muhammad was still there, no question, he's not doing it.
Javier Mendez also gave an update about the next move after fighting JDM, saying he's not sure if Islam Makhachev will stay at 170 permanently, since they haven't talked about that yet. He acknowledged that there are more opportunities for Islam at welterweight compared to lightweight, where only a few big fights remain. Ultimately, Javier emphasized that Islam is the one in control of his career decisions, and no one interferes in that. He described himself as just the mechanic, while Islam is the one driving the direction of his future.
You think 170 is permanent now for moving forward?
I can't say that because I haven't spoke to Islam about that, whether he's going to want to stay at 170. I really don't know. There's a lot of opportunities at 170.
Yeah.
And let's face it, at lightweight, there's only a couple.
Yeah.
But at welterweight, there's a lot more.
Yeah.
So Islam is the driver. I'm just the mechanic. And maybe I'm the guy that fixes the tires of this one, but Islam's the driver. Islam decides where he wants to go, not the manager, not Habib. Islam. Islam is the boss.
Javier Mendez also praised Islam Makhachev's discipline and trust in his coaching team. He said that whether it's himself, Khabib, or the other coaches giving directions, Islam always listens and follows instructions without question. According to Javier, they can switch strategies second for second or round for round, and Islam will adapt accordingly. He emphasized that it's their responsibility as coaches to figure out what works, and Islam will stick to the plan no matter what.
With Islam, you know, I've always told everybody we can switch them second for second, minute for minute, round for round. So whatever Khabib and I and the other coaches need to do, we will do, and Islam will follow our instructions. He always has. I mean, if there's one thing I can always say about Islam is that no matter what I say, Khabib says we're on the same track, we're not on the same track, he listens to us. So it's going to be our job to make sure if things aren't working, we find out what is going to work, and Islam will follow.
On the other hand, Arman Tsarukyan called Islam Makhachev versus Jack Della Maddalena a tough fight. He acknowledged Jack's strong boxing and defense, but said Islam's pressure and grappling would be the key. Arman predicted Islam would take Jack down and control him on the ground to get the win. Arman Tsarukyan stated, "It's a tough fight. Maddalena is a tough dude. Good boxing, good defense. But I believe Islam has really good wrestling. He could take him down, hold him, submit him, ground and pound. You know." However, Max Holloway warned fans not to overlook Jack Della Maddalena, calling him one of the best fighters in the world. He said the matchup with Islam Makhachev would be a smart and tough fight, and compared Jack's situation to when people doubted him early in his own career. While he respects Islam's pound-for-pound status, Holloway urged fans not to count Jack out. Max Holloway said, "People are sleeping on Jack. I think Jack is one of the best fighters in the world right now, and people are going to find that out when the match happens. It's going to be a fun fight, a smart fight, but a lot of people are counting out Jack for no reason. It kind of reminds me of when I was coming up and people were doubting me. Look, Islam is the #2 pound-for-pound fighter in the world, and he's #2 for a reason. You've got to respect that, but still, don't sleep on Jack. It's going to be a tough and fun fight." That wraps up everything from today's video. Let us know your thoughts and predictions on this matchup in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more updates on this thrilling showdown.